Stop using virtual audio cables because this OBS plugin changes everything. If you use FL Studio, Ableton, Cubase, or any other DAW, you need to know about this new OBS plugin that I found. For the longest time, getting audio from your DAW into OBS has been the most complicated system ever, and oftentimes it never works. Finally, there's an easy method on how to do that. You've probably heard about virtual audio cables that you can use to connect your audio from your DAW into OBS, but as you know, those things oftentimes never work as intended, or it limits the way how you can use your audio interface. You're basically creating an extra audio routing system just so that your DAW can send audio into OBS. And depending on the plugin or software that you're using, you can often run into problems such as latency or the inputs of your audio interface not even being available. But there's a new OBS plugin that takes a completely different approach at the system. And this plugin is called OBS DAW Audio Capture. So I won't explain how this works under the hood because I myself don't understand how it works. So basically what this does is instead of creating an entire different audio routing system, it pretty much only hijacks the audio from your audio driver. So in this case, it's FL Studio, audio driver, OBS, audio interface, your speakers, or your headphones. All your softwares would pretty much do this. FL Studio, completely different audio system. Hopefully it works with your audio interface, and oftentimes it doesn't. So then it's pretty much using your same audio drivers that your audio interface uses, which allows you to monitor with zero latency, and it still allows you to use your audio inputs, which is a game changer. But enough of me talking, let's take a look at how we install this into OBS and FL Studio. So of course, open your browser. I will include the link in the description so that you can open the website. And here you can read everything if you're interested in how this works. There's a graphic and everything showing how everything works, but we're only interested in downloading the software. So you head over to your releases over here, v1.0.1 stability fixes. Head over here, scroll all the way down, and you can download the obs.capture.zip right here. Download it, and just to make things easier, I'll put it on my desktop. Here you go. Extract the files. Extract to obs.capture. And there we have the files. So here are the files. You head over to your install.bat and make sure you run it as administrator. I already have the plugin installed, so I won't do that. But you need to make sure you run the install.bat file as administrator. Otherwise, it won't work. So click on that. Okay. And now it's installed in your OBS. So now you have the plugin installed. So for demonstration purposes, I'll show you that FL Studio doesn't send audio to my OBS whenever I'm using my audio interface, which I'm using the Behringer UMC 404 HD. So my audio driver is the UMC ASIO driver. So now if I play something, let me open a project. You shouldn't be able to hear this. You cannot hear that. So let's close this and let's go back to our OBS. And here in your sources, right click, add source, DAW audio capture ASIO. Select this. You can name it whatever you want. In my case, I name it as FL Studio DAW. There you go. And then here you select the driver that your audio interface uses. In my case, I'm using the UMC ASIO driver. So I select this, accept, and I'm using the first 1 and 2 audio outputs on my audio interfaces. So in my case, I'm using the output 1 and 2 on my audio interface. So that's what I select. So if your audio interface has more outputs and you're using a different output, just make sure you select that here. In my case, I'm using output 1 and 2. So here it says, start OBS first, select your audio driver, and then start your DAW. And then now, if I open FL Studio, you probably heard that. So that's a good sign. So let me open my project, and then you should be able to hear now.
so that's how you install it. It's really easy and it works.
So yes, finally, there's an easier way of us producers and streamers and tutorial makers to get your audio from your DAW into OBS. Now I feel more confident that I can stream my projects on YouTube, or I can make some tutorials or whatever, knowing that the audio from my DAW will not suddenly cut out in my recordings. But of course, I need to make a disclaimer. This plugin is still in its experimental stage, so there might be some bugs or it might not work with certain audio interfaces. So I highly encourage you guys to get this plugin, see if it works for you. If it doesn't, you can always leave a comment on their GitHub page so that we can help the developers know that if it works with other interfaces. They do have a list of what works with this plugin, which in my case works flawlessly with the Behringer UMC 404 HD, which is the audio interface that I use. So I'm blessed and highly favored, of course. And of course, it works flawlessly with FL Studio. And of course, if you're a church musician and you want to learn FL Studio, subscribe to the channel, because that's pretty much what my channel is about. I teach church musicians how to use FL Studio. I teach sound tech volunteers how to better mix at their churches. So if you find any of those things useful or interesting, subscribe to the channel as we try to hit 1,000 subscribers before the year ends. If you found this video helpful, leave a like, comment, and of course, subscribe to the channel. And I'll see you in the next one.